Hello everybody and welcome to the Insomnia Running Club podcast. I am your host Mark Gallagher. Great to be talking to you. I hope you're keeping well if you're listening. You're tuning in. Today is the 22nd of March, Mother's Day. And it's the end to what has probably been the most surreal week of my life. Again, talked about it last week. Talked about how I'm trying to stay positive through the whole thing, and that is still the goal. But coronavirus, oh my god, this thing is a monster. This thing seems to be consuming the news headlines. I tell you what, it's consuming my thoughts. It has consumed everyday life. You know, I don't need to tell you, but schools are closed. That affects us at home. Social distancing. It's a brand new thing. That's never been in my life before. And yeah, this week has most definitely opened my eyes. And the one word that I can sort of pick from it, which is definitely the lesson that I've took from this week, is gratitude. I've been taking so much for granted. So much for granted. Just as far as running goes, you know, we head out in our mornings. 3-4 of us doing a run. And we're chatting away, we're running, we're talking, you know, sweat's flying everywhere. You're wiping your nose, you're spitting at the side of the road. That's what runners do, and that's what you're doing. Not that I'm missing those things exactly, but the camaraderie and the sense of a club. I'm most definitely missing it massively. It feels weird. It feels like I'm breaking the law if I was to go out and run with someone. It is for a health benefit, but it doesn't have, you know, something silly as that. Doesn't have spooky. And then on the flip side of that, what I was talking about was it doesn't half make you think, my goodness, you know, we take that for granted, you know, really do. Just take it at the drop of a hat, just going out for a run with someone, getting a load of miles and just having a chat and a crack. That is a magical thing. You know, I'm just taking it for granted, taking it so for granted. In work, you know, just taken for granted at the minute that customers come in, and you know, on the other side you just assume, you know, you just assume that you're okay. You don't assume that customer is in to do you any harm or to pass on a bug or a virus that could potentially kill you. It is wild, you know. My mind this week, I put up a video there during the week. I'll not lie to you. This is me bare bones telling you like it is. This week has scared the crap clean out of me. Just because I can't ask anybody for advice because everybody's in the exact same boat. As far as, you know, how do we come out of this thing? How do I keep myself right? How do I keep my wife and my 2 kids and my family safe from this thing? You know, my everyday life, every day, you know, my 32 years on this planet, I haven't had to worry about stepping out the front door in the morning. Like, granted, I've grown up in Belfast, you know, pretty much. I mean, I'll share a story. I digress, but I'll share a story. You know, in school, they would have recorded that there was a bomb scare and we all had to evacuate the school. we were more annoyed for the disturbance. Like, it's God's sake, having to get out and stand outside and muck about, and I bet you I'm gonna miss the bus, and this is gonna be all day and all night. I'm gonna be here. Wasn't worried about a bomb. Bombs went off all the time. Not that I'm condemning anything that's right with a bomb going off, but I'm more scared of the thing that I cannot see. This smallest thing on this earth that you breathe in through your nose and you breathe in through your mouth, is scaring me. Something that I cannot see, is scaring me more than anything. So yeah, this week, my mind has went into anxiety and meltdown mode. I don't mind sharing that with you, because I think it's important to talk about it. That's how I felt this week. I've talked to my wife. I haven't bottled it up. I've talked to my wife. I've put it out there into the world as well. I've talked to friends about it, saying that it's been written all over my face that I'm worried this week. Not to the point where I'm shivering in a corner. We need to attack the day and you need to get up and do things. But, this is the type of thing that does give you concern. And I'm sorry to be a Debbie Downer on the whole thing. But I went out for a run on, what day was it? Saturday. Only done one run this week. That's how bad things have been. It was a rest week, but even still, I was supposed to do about 20 odd miles this week. And I done 5 miles is what was done this week, because my head wasn't in it. Genuinely, the head wasn't in it. Couldn't think straight. But I did go for a run. And one of the things I did say was, I've never went out for a run, and whenever I've come back and after I've set out and finished it, I've never felt worse than what I did when I started. I could see things that bit clearer. Now, it doesn't make the reality any less scary, but it did just put it in my head that we need to look after ourselves out there. We really do. What they are trying, I see it all over my phone. I hear talking to my neighbours, talking to friends, social distancing. What you do today can save lives. Staying at home can save lives. Today was Mother's Day. And like I say, this week has been very, very, very surreal. It was the strangest Mother's Day ever. It was in our household. It was lovely. Made breakfast for my wife. Kids gave their mum presents. Made a lovely dinner. But in between times, I had to go and see my mum. Now, the news was warning, do not go and see your parents, FaceTime or whatever. We did do that, but what I did was, it was like a prison visit. I'm stood outside my mum and dad's house, left the gifts on the porch, and I'm talking away to my mum and dad through a window. And it was surreal. They're there within touching distance on Mother's Day, trying to go up and, just talk to my mum and show her appreciation for all that she does for me and for my family throughout the year. And you can't even give her a hug or a kiss. That's how massive this thing is. But my mum understands just the enormity of what it is that's going on out there. I saw it in a picture, and pretty much it was matches all lined up, and there was like 30 matches there, and the first 5 matches were burnt to pieces, and there was one missing, and that one that was missing saved the 25 other matches, or 24 other matches. It'd be great if I could count. But that's the importance of it. Whenever you see it, in such a simple term, if we are to save lives, if we are to get the better of this thing, and to make this thing do as little damage as possible, we need to act on it. We really, really need to act on it. You know, stay at home. You know, the social distancing is what needs done. I'll not lie to you. I am supposed to go into work tomorrow. I had to change things about. I am looking after my kids in the morning, and I am supposed to go into work tomorrow. I sell cars, so pretty much I have to do test drives with customers. I have to engage with customers, and it's the first time ever since I started the profession where I don't want to be near customers. Just because of the enormity of what's going on out there, I just don't want to be near them. And this is me telling you the truth of my thought. Not that there's anything wrong with the customers. They're lovely people. They are people just like me, you know, getting on with their day. But this is mega, you know. I know this is really something coming from my mouth, but this isn't the time to be buying cars. You know, this is the time to distance yourself for what this is. You know, this 2-3 week period that's so important to distance yourself. So I do have a dilemma. I have to possibly go into work tomorrow. And my dilemma is, you know, do I go into work and do I do my day's work and do I distance myself as best as I can, but I'm still around other people? Or do I stay home and do I suffer the financial consequence and possibly put my nearest and dearest into more harm's way, as far as, you know, not bringing home as much of an income to support us? You know, this is the uncertainty. I know people in the hospitality trade are now, they've been confirmed that they're getting the 80% wages, which is fantastic. It's amazing. But, you know, it needs to be rolled out more. I know there's the likes of the MOT centres and the test centres, you know, drivers' test centres have now been closed down due to the nature of it. You know, someone has to sit beside you to do a driving test, and that's just too close. You know, you're in too close proximity, you're sharing the same air, you know, in that car. You know, your spittle or your, you know, any moisture coming out of your mouth is it's in the atmosphere, and it's too close to someone beside you. And that's what has me panicked as well. You know, it's not even so much as what I pick up, it's what I would pass on to someone else. You know, if I have something underlying, you know, you just do not know. It's so uncertain, the times. It's so uncertain the times. Yeah, it's crazy, and I haven't made that call yet, being totally honest with you. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm hoping I don't have to make that call. I'm hoping someone steps in and something is done before I need to make that call, because it is scary. It's a scary thought, which leads me back to what I was talking about, you know, gratitude. I've come home today after the prison visit with my mum and dad, you know, and talking them through the window. And I just thought to myself, you know, if that's an act of love, that's an act of kindness, you know, kindness. That's what you have to do in order to keep your loved ones safe. You know, it's a bit of sacrifice, but it's, you know, it's sacrificing something because you love someone, because you want to keep someone well and healthy and away from this thing. But I came home, you know, my kids were out playing in the garden, and just being kids and being mischievous and being fun. And it was just like, this is another reason, just in the midst of all this that's going on, there's another reason why you have to be so conscious of your health. Yeah, I've said it all the time on these podcasts, but your health is your wealth. Just to have that vitality to play with them, to have that energy to get up and go and to run 100 miles, to squat 200 kilos, to snatch 100 kilos if you're a CrossFitter, or to start your new business if you want to do something, or to attack a new course you wanted to do to further educate yourself. Whatever it is, you need that vitality, you need that go, that healthiness to get you there. And it's so important. We all I know for a fact I've been taking it for granted. And there's just this wee dose of reality this week. It's not until something's sort of taken away from you that you realize, or the possibility of something being taken away from you, that you realize how good you have it, and how you should try keep a hold of that and keep it dear and cherish it, and do everything you can to be present, to enjoy your time. Unfortunately, I put this out into the world, and if anybody was to listen to it, it's uncertain, the outcome for everybody at this moment in time. But by staying home, by following the guidelines, by doing the social distancing, from self-isolation to whatever needs to be done, I think everybody needs to look at it as they're looking after their health and the health of others. It could be totally annoying that you have to stay in the house for a couple of weeks. I know I made my point clear on what I'll be doing if I am to get it. If I'm to get the nod that I have to stay home for a couple of weeks, that is that's a plan to really get stuck in and make it a positive experience. Even over and above that, the other news this week was school closure. My little boy, the school he goes to, obviously they're all closed. My wife and I were having to juggle about things now to essentially work, and to look after the kids. He isn't expected to go back to school until September. 5 months, 5 and a bit months of home schooling essentially, is what we're faced with, and that is a new challenge. That's something that I did not expect to have to do this year. And again, we took his school for granted, and the great things that his teachers do for him, and the great job that they do in educating their kids. I've taken it all for granted, and that there's another mammoth challenge. Life is throwing curveballs for everybody at the moment. What was mega important, which is still in my mind, the 100-mile races and the 24-hour events and back-to-back marathons and charity events, closer to home. I have my little boy who, in as far as I can ever remember, I'm sure the last time something like this happened was the war, where kids are off school. Kids have just their parents to educate them. And where do you start? It is literally a baptism under fire. But my wife and I, we've been sort of thinking about it and looking at things to do to try and to educate him. This week's plan is to get him to write his name. His letters for his name. And again, I hope to God I don't do a balls of it, if I'm being totally truthful. But this is what I'm faced with. You can sit back and go, right, it's going to be a long time till September, or you can get stuck in as a new life skill for me. This is trying to educate my son the best that I can. My little girl, who's only 2 coming 3, she'll be listening in on this. Now, whether or not she picks it up, or whether or not my skills as an educator are any good and she can pick it up, who knows. But like I say, it is a challenge, and I'm definitely grateful for the great job that as teachers and all the teachers out there do for kids, and moulding them and giving them the structure, and just how they go about doing it. You know, they're educated in educating, and hats off to them. You know, it's not an easy job, and it's something I think that we all take very much so for granted. So yeah, this week, I'll be honest with you take your body for granted. You know, I've took my body for granted, my health to a certain degree. I know I need to even take even better care of myself. I've took what's around me, you know, as far as schools, infrastructure, customers, everything and anything. This week, because it has changed, I've been taken for granted. And the other thing is, you know, family and extended family and further family, you know, we take things for granted, you know, and I think all of us in this short term and bringing it forward as well, we really need to pay attention to what's going on and follow the guidelines, and do our best that we can do. We're not all going to make the right decisions, but we need to do the best that we think wholeheartedly are the best for our own health and for other people's health and health. So yeah, I hope this isn't a rant. It's from the heart. It's a I'll be honest, it's the honest account from a scared parent, a scared husband, scared son, scared man in the world in 2020. And I don't mind saying it, because I'm sure there's a lot of others out there that are feeling the exact same way, and we all need to work together. And on the other side of that, just another note again, because it's something in the grand scheme of things that I've been working on this year, is it doesn't hurt to tell the truth and to speak your mind, and to share your feelings and your thoughts about what's going on. We're all not perfect. It's not a case of I'm weak because I'm scared. I'm just honest about being scared, is all it is. And I want to resolve. You know, courage comes from moments of fear, what you do about it. So listen, don't bottle it up. Believe me, if you want to talk to me, get involved on the Instagram account, Run Insomnia. If you want to speak to me, do it on Facebook, at Run Insomnia. You can send us an email through the website, runinsomnia.com. Please get involved. Don't bottle it up. Get it out there. It becomes a hell of a lot less painful and a lot less to bear whenever you put it out there. So listen, I hope you're keeping well through the week. I hope you make right decisions. And I hope I'm here healthy and talking to you during the week as well. Like I did say, I want to do more of these podcasts just throughout this time. I have the time to do it. And yeah, hopefully you get something from this, and hopefully the message of gratitude rings a bell, and it makes you think about things going on and how you can just show that wee bit extra and that extra bit of thought and care for yourself and for others. And listen, it's been a pleasure chatting to you again. Like I say, stay safe, stay well, and I hope I'm chatting to you next week. All the best, folks. Bye.